Have you ever set a goal and then life happens? Yeah, me too. Today, we're doing something a little different. I'm pulling back the curtain on my own highs and lows of the year, from reaching podcast milestones to rebranding struggles that have made me question everything. And listen, if you've ever felt like you're failing because you didn't hit a goal, trust me, you're going to want to stick around. We are diving into why not meeting a goal might just be the best thing that ever happened to you. Plus, I've got some exciting news about an upcoming retreat that could be a game changer for your health and well being. Trust me, you do not want to miss this one. Welcome to the Done with Dieting podcast, where it's all about designing the life you want in midlife. I'm your host, Elizabeth Sherman, a master certified life and health coach, personal trainer, nutritionist, feminist coach, and specialist in women's hormones. Are you tired of scales, food logs, and strict diets? Struggling with hormonal symptoms and the challenges of aging, changing relationships, and entering the next phase of your life? You have come to the right place. Here we talk about food freedom, nurturing a better relationship with your body, and feeling great again, all without the weight of traditional dieting methods. Through a mix of solo podcasts and conversations with industry experts, I'm here to guide you towards a healthier, happier you. Join me as we explore ways to look and feel better and strive for optimal health regardless of where you are in your journey. But more importantly, to reclaim control, confidence, and joy in this beautiful stage of life. This is the Done with Dieting podcast. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Done with Dieting podcast. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you might remember episode number 100, where I laid out some pretty hefty goals for myself and this podcast. Well, today we're going back in time to revisit those goals. We're going to reflect on what went right, what didn't, and what it all means for you. So you might be asking, well, why does this matter, Elizabeth? Because let's be honest, how many of us set health goals and find ourselves looking back wondering where the time went? We start off gung-ho about dropping some pounds, eating better, or finally making it to the gym, but then life happens. Family, work, and just keeping up with the daily grind can make it feel really hard to keep some of those commitments to ourselves. Does that sound familiar? So, in today's podcast, we are not just reflecting, we're actually going to learn. Learning how to pivot when things don't go as planned, how to celebrate the wins even when they're not what we originally aimed for, and how to set ourselves up for future success. The journey towards optimal health isn't a straight line. It's actually full of ups, downs, sharp turns. And you know what? That's totally okay. Now, I want to be super transparent with you. We're going to talk about both the highs and lows of my past year. Yeah, you heard that right. The lows too. Because reality check, if I, a life and health coach, can struggle, then it's perfectly normal for you to have those days, those weeks, or even those months where things are just tough. And guess what? You can still come out on the other side feeling good and making progress. So that's what you're in for today. Let's get into it. We've got a mix of reflections, a dash of life lessons, and a sprinkle of plans for what's ahead. So you're not going to want to miss this episode. So first, let me share the part of the episode from episode number 100 that is relevant to today's episode. Here you go. All right. Now, it's December 2023, and this is my 1-year goal. It's December 2023, and I am so dang proud of myself for who I've become and what I've accomplished. This year, I've consistently done the uncomfortable things. I've failed, and in the process, I've made a lot of progress. This year, I've been primarily focusing on my relationship with myself and truly loving myself and having my own back even when things don't turn out as planned. And it has carried over into all of the other areas of my life. I am more confident with who I am now than I've ever been before. And in the past year, I've learned how to advocate for myself while being kind in the process. This year, I've either completed or I am working towards my Master Coach certification. I've earned $250,000 this year, and I've helped over 100 women stop dieting, eat right for their body, and be able to understand what their inner authority is telling them. They've been able to reclaim their internal knowing. And we've been able to do that through the lens of the feminist coaching certification that I completed a year ago. This year, I've been working on relationships, and I've been creating deeper, more impactful relationships with the people around me and myself. The feelings that I have right now are being proud, definitely love and confidence, but also compassion. And so, who do I need to become in order to achieve this goal? I have to realize that women want to be invited to work with me. People are excited about what I'm doing, and they want to support me. I have to remember that. And I also want to remember that most people don't know what I know. I have had this belief in the past that everyone knows the same things that I do. So who am I to talk about these things? But yet, I have so much incredible experience to offer. All right, let's get into some of the awesome stuff that happened in the past year. First up, I got my Master Coach certification. You know, it's one of those things that takes time, a lot of studying, and well, a ton of real life coaching experience. I've been at this for years, and to finally hold that certification in my hands feels like crossing a finish line that I've been eyeing for a long time. So, what's the big deal, you might ask? This certification means that I'm better equipped to serve you and help you break through your health challenges. It equips me with the tools, techniques, and the know how to guide you through some of those sticky moments in your health journey. And trust me, we all have them. Now, let's talk podcast milestones. We've hit over 50,000 downloads in the past 150 episodes. And actually, as I'm recording this, it keeps getting higher and higher and higher. This is massive. I mean, when I started this podcast, I never ever thought it would grow this much. But here we are. And it's all because of you tuning in every single week. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. Seriously, I could not be more grateful. And the coolest part isn't just the numbers. The numbers represent women who are changing their lives just like you. Okay, so this next part is super dear to me. While I haven't been paid by over 100 women, I know that I've positively impacted the lives of over 100 women through coaching, through webinars, and through this podcast. It's not always about the money. It's about making a genuine difference. This year, I've seen women take control of their health, feel more confident, and just be happier. It is so incredible to witness that transformation, and it makes all of the hard work so incredibly worth it. So, why am I sharing all of these achievements with you? Because I want you to know that setting goals and working towards them can lead to incredible outcomes. And sometimes those outcomes are even better than you initially imagined. I started with a dream, put in the work, and reaped the rewards. But listen, it's not always smooth sailing. Life throws curveballs. Yet the trick is to keep your eye on the prize and adjust as you go along. You might have health goals right now that seem really far off, but if you stick with it, stay committed, and maybe even seek out some help, I'm always here for you, you'll look back and amazed at how far you've come. All right, I've done enough talking about me. The point is that you too can accomplish amazing things in your life and health. And don't forget, it's perfectly okay to celebrate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back for the small wins and the big wins, because they all add up to create the person that you are becoming. So you've heard me share the highlights, but let's keep it real. Not everything went as planned this year. In particular, my financial goals. Yeah, I had some pretty ambitious targets for myself. And spoiler alert, I did not hit them. Now, before you jump to any conclusions or think that this is a sob story, hang on. Not hitting a financial goal, or any goal for that matter, doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that I'm a failure. It's part of the journey and it is a learning experience. I've learned a lot about budgeting, about understanding my audience better, and it's about tweaking my business model. These are things that I wouldn't have paid much attention to if everything was just sunshine and roses. But let's zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger picture. The real value here is in the journey itself, the learning, the adapting, and even the stumbling. Those stumbles make me reassess and get creative. Maybe you didn't hit your target of weight this year, or you didn't run that 5K that you planned on running. Does that mean you throw in the towel or give up? Absolutely not. It means that you look back, you figure out what went sideways, and you plan a different approach. You've got to cut yourself some slack because life happens. Sometimes you're thrown a curveball, like getting sick or having to juggle new responsibilities. Maybe you had to care for a parent or a child, and that was completely unexpected. Or perhaps your job got crazy busy. These are not excuses, they're reasons, real life reasons that get in the way of our best laid plans. So here's my take on not meeting my financial goals. Sure, it stings, but it's also a chance to regroup and go at it again, this time a little wiser. I've got some great things in the pipeline for next year, and this small setback is just setting the stage for a big comeback. It doesn't mean that I give up on the goal. It just means that it's going to take me longer to get there. And you know what? The same thing goes for you. Not hitting your health goals for the year doesn't mean you won't smash them out of the park next year or even the year after that or next month. Time is a construct. You can start fresh whenever you darn please. Think about it. If I sat here dwelling on my so called failures, would that help me move forward? No way. And the same goes for you. Your worth isn't tied to a number on the scale, the size of your jeans, or how many green smoothies you drank last week. Just like my worth isn't tied to a dollar amount. You are more than your goals. I am more than my goals. We are living, breathing, evolving human beings. And that's pretty amazing when you stop and think about it. So take a moment to let all of that sink in. Missing a goal isn't the end of the world. It's part of your world, and that's totally okay. So let's talk about how this all connects to you and your health journey. Many of you might be in a similar boat when it comes to not hitting those health goals or those weight goals. Maybe you started the year full of excitement and determination. You bought the gym membership, you cleaned out the pantry, you swore off sugar. But here we are near the end of the year, and things haven't exactly gone as planned. I get it. I totally get it. There's this tendency now to beat ourselves up or just ignore it when we don't achieve a particular outcome. Trust me, I've been there. But one thing I've learned from not meeting my financial goals is that the focus should really be on the behaviors, not the outcome. So we don't always have choice over the outcome. But what we do have control over is what we do, our behaviors, our habits, our actions. The actions you take daily, weekly, or even monthly are what lead to transformation. Take weight loss, for example. If you're only concentrating on the number of the scale, the outcome, you're missing out on a lot of other wins that are so easily measured. Maybe you're sleeping better, or you find yourself with more energy in the afternoons, or perhaps you've actually started enjoying those walks or those gym sessions. Those are successes. Those are behaviors that improve your quality of life, even though the scale has not budged. I mean, can you imagine if I had just focused on the financial outcome and ignored all of the other stuff? Ignored the fact that the podcast is growing and reaching more people, or that the retreat had such a profound impact on the women who attended. I would have missed the forest from the trees. It's the same with your health journey. Maybe you didn't lose the 20 pounds you planned on, but perhaps you've started making sustainable changes that set you up for better health in the long run. Maybe you've started eating breakfast consistently or found a type of exercise you enjoy. Or maybe you've just built some mental resilience. These may not have been your initial goals, but they are totally victories nonetheless. They're behaviors and habits that will serve you well long term. The key is to acknowledge and celebrate those behavioral wins. Take stock of the good habits that you've started or maintained and understand that they are pieces of a much larger puzzle. That puzzle is your well being, and every piece counts. And let's not forget that life doesn't happen in neat, tidy 12-month cycles. Just because you haven't hit your health or weight loss goals yet doesn't mean that you won't. You have a whole new year ahead of you. And guess what? You can make it your year. It's never too late to make adjustments, to shift your focus, and to approach your goals with renewed energy and a touch of wisdom from lessons learned. Goals are not the be all end all, they're just markers on your life's journey. And that journey, well, it's made up of a bunch of little steps. Now, I have to share one of the absolute highs of this year: hosting my very first retreat. If I had to pick a single word to describe it, I would go with transformative. Now, picture this: a group of incredible women coming together, each with her own set of struggles, her own story, and her own unique brilliance. Over the span of the week, something absolutely magical happened. We started recognizing the common threads woven through our individual experiences. As we spent time together, we saw how society's rules, especially in patriarchal context, were affecting us in subtle and some not so subtle ways. Let me tell you, it's pretty darn empowering to realize that you're not alone in what you're going through. As the days passed, we started shedding those layers of judgment and obligation that we'd been carrying around. We allowed ourselves to be who we really are, not who we thought we should be. And for many of us, myself included, it was like exhaling a breath we didn't even know we were holding in. I saw women step into their power, into their truth, and embrace the totality of who they are. It was honestly such an incredible honor to facilitate and witness this transformation of women. But hey, this isn't just about me and my experience. I genuinely believe that each one of us needs those moments of clarity, those safe spaces to just be, to truly step into our full potential. For those of you interested in such an experience, guess what? I am planning another retreat for April 2024. As I'm recording this, it's already filling up. But trust me, you are going to want to be a part of this. If you want to get the inside scoop, head over to the landing page at elizabethsherman.com/retreat 2024. That's retreat 2024. Or you can reach out to me to learn more. I've also put together a bonus podcast episode all about it. The link will be in the show notes for this episode. And while you're at it, I'm going to invite you to check out episode number 145 with Stacey Oliver Knappe for another layer of inspiration. She talks all about her transformation and what she got out of the retreat. It's so incredible. So, why is this relevant to your health journey? Because self-discovery and personal transformation are deeply connected to how you show up for yourself in the health department. It's more than just about what you eat or how often you exercise. It's about understanding yourself at a core level so that you can make choices that genuinely serve you. And sometimes stepping out of your usual routine and engaging in something like a retreat can provide the reset that you didn't even know that you needed. This retreat was a high point, not just for me, but for every single woman who attended. It showed us that when we come together and create a space of trust and openness, we can break down barriers that we didn't even know existed. And let's face it, this life journey can be tough. So why go it alone when we can uplift and inspire each other along the way? So let's shift a little bit and talk about some lows because let's be real, the path to success isn't always a straight upward line. For me, one of the most challenging things this year has been grappling with the decision to rebrand my podcast and my business. Now, I've been in this business for over 17 years, and that's a lot of time, energy, and passion invested into something that I absolutely love. The Done with Dieting brand has been my baby. But as I've evolved, I've realized that the women I serve are looking for something different, something more holistic that addresses not just diet and weight loss, but overall health, healthy aging, and longevity. The process of letting go and moving toward a new direction has been, quite frankly, an emotional roller coaster. I've had a lot of self doubt like, is this what I should do? It's not just about changing a logo or updating a website, it's about shifting the way that I show up for you, my audience, and myself. That's some pretty heavy stuff. The fear of the unknown, the worry of losing followers or clients, and the overall stress of making a massive change. It's been a lot to manage. But here's why this is essential. Our goals for health and well being are not static, they change as we do. What's worked for us in our 30s might not be what we need in our 40s and beyond. I'm talking total health here, mind, body, and soul. I believe this new direction will help me serve you in a much more comprehensive way, addressing not just body weight or food, but the entire spectrum of what health means. So, why is this low point relevant to you in your health journey? Because life will throw curveballs your way. You might have to make difficult decisions that seem overwhelming, whether it's choosing an eating plan, getting back to exercise after a long hiatus, or even changing healthcare providers. The uncertainty and fear can paralyze us. But what I've learned from my rebranding experience is that growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. The other thing that I think is really super important here is the idea that we need to walk before we can run. And sometimes, in order to move forward and do something different, we have to stop, take a step back in order to move forward. Whether we're talking about business, so I'm changing my messaging and in order to grow and serve my clients better. I've had to take a step back so that I can run. The same thing might be true for you. So oftentimes we go diet after diet after diet. And the approach that I take with my clients is that we're learning something new. And that's really scary because sometimes what we need to do is we need to stop dieting in order to be successful and move forward. It's having to walk and change paths in order to succeed. We know that where we're going isn't going to get us to where we want to go. And so, what we need to do is we need to double back in order to right the ship. And that's exactly what we're doing here. At the end of the day, the low moments are just as instructive as the high ones. They challenge us to dig deep, reassess, and come out stronger on the other side. And let me tell you, though the process is ongoing and I'm still navigating through it, I am incredibly hopeful and excited about what lies ahead. For me and for you too, I'll be able to serve you in an even more meaningful way. This year has been quite a ride on the personal development front. Aside from the business shifts and achievements, I've had to put some serious work into myself as well. And trust me, it has been both challenging and incredibly rewarding. One of the most significant areas I've focused on is practicing self compassion. I've always preached the importance of being kind to yourself, but living it, that's a whole different ballgame. I've had moments of self doubt, especially with rebranding and all of the other changes that have been going on, these challenges. It's easy to beat yourself up when things aren't going perfectly. However, I have committed to treating myself the way I'd treat a best friend with understanding, love, and a whole lot of grace. And I want the same for you. So here's the thing. Our society places all these rules and expectations on us, especially as women. How we should look, what we should eat, how we should age. It is relentless. Breaking free from those rules is liberating, but also scary. I experienced this firsthand at my retreat. Each woman who attended, including me, went through a sort of metamorphosis. We were shedding the layers of societal judgment and expectation. And by the end of it, the feeling wasn't just one of relief, it was empowerment. You may wonder, why does personal development matter in a conversation about health? And so I want you to think about the rules that you've unconsciously followed in your entire life. Maybe you've always believed that you need to be a certain weight in order to be healthy, or that you must follow a specific diet to look a certain way. These rules directly impact your well being. Shaking them off means making room for a more authentic, health focused lifestyle that serves you, not societal norms. Now, don't get me wrong, this is ongoing work. I still have moments when I slip back into old mindset, and that's okay. The key is to notice it, adjust, and move forward because it's not about being perfect, it's about striving for success. The journey towards personal growth is precisely that. It's a journey. There is no endpoint because we are continually evolving. We're always learning and we're always improving. It's what makes life rich and fulfilling. As we navigate this path together, we know that it's never too late to start, whether it's breaking free from diet culture, practicing self compassion, or anything else that fosters personal growth. You can totally do it. And I'll be right here cheering you on every single step of the way. When we talk about productivity, there's a tendency to measure it in terms of output. How many things you've ticked off your to do list, how many hours you've put in. But what I've learned this year is that real productivity comes from a place of alignment, where what you are doing connects with your deeper values and goals. Take the podcast, for example. We hit over 50,000 downloads this year, which is amazing. But what's more impressive to me is that we've never missed a week. Yep, not even 1 week. We were even 10 weeks ahead before going on vacation to Italy this past August. It's not just about churning out episodes, but delivering consistent quality content that you can rely on every single week. The podcast is not a checkbox exercise, it's a commitment to you. Now let's talk about social media. We all know that it can be a beast, but I've kept up with posting, engaging, and sharing valuable content. It's not just about being everywhere all the time, but showing up in a meaningful way. Plus, I've been actively sharing new insights in the Feel Good Sisterhood, where we dive deeper into the themes we discuss here on the podcast. And let's not forget that first ever retreat. Not to toot my own horn, but it was executed flawlessly. From the planning stages to the final goodbyes, when you put your heart and soul into something, it shows. I've also been running webinars and following up with my clients. You could say that I've been a productivity machine, but it's not about doing more. It's about doing what counts. And I've made sure to prioritize my own health and exercise in this entire process. The engine can't run if it's not well maintained. The point here is that consistency is key. And if you're thinking about your health, the same principle applies. It's not about hitting the gym 7 days a week or eating perfectly all the time. It's about consistent, doable actions that align with your bigger health goals. Keep that in mind as you think about the next year ahead. Okay, so before we wrap up this episode, I've got some exciting stuff to share. First, if you found the talk about our first retreat intriguing, I have to invite you again for our next retreat. That's happening in April 2024. And trust me, you do not want to miss out on this. It's going to be an incredible week of transformation, just like the last one. Again, if you want to learn more, head over to elizabethsherman.com/retreat-2024. All the details are there. And if you're still on the fence, again, check out episode number 145, where I talk to my client and retreat participant Stacy Oliver Knappe, about her experiences. She was a participant in the first retreat, and her insights are golden. And we've got a special bonus podcast about the retreat. Just look for it in the show notes. Next, let's get real. If anything I've said today strikes a chord, if you're tired of feeling stuck in a rut with your health and well-being, I'm inviting you to take action. I know that sometimes the biggest hurdle can be taking that first step. But let me tell you, the only thing keeping you from being successful is giving up. I've been there, and that's why I can guide you through it. I offer consult calls where we can talk one-on-one about your unique challenges and goals. No judgment, just an honest chat to see how I can help you make sustainable, long-lasting changes. To schedule your consult call, just visit my website. Again, it's going to be in the show notes. It's the first step on a journey that I promise will be well worth it. So whether it's joining us for the next retreat or setting up a consult call, or hey, why not both? I'm here to support you every single step of the way. Let's make this next year one where you step into your power and own it. All right, so closing out on this episode, I just want you to remember one key thing. The journey is as important as the destination. I know it's easy to get discouraged when you hit bumps in the road, but trust me, I have been there. And those bumps, they're not setbacks. They're really just stepping stones. Each one is a lesson and a tiny piece of the puzzle that contributes to the bigger picture of who you're becoming. When you can look at those little bumps in the road, not as mistakes and failures, but get curious and ask yourself, why did that happen? What can I do to insulate myself in the future? That's where the learning happens. If today's chat taught you anything, I hope it's that it's okay to not have it all figured out. Life is a work in progress, and guess what? So are we. The whole point is to grow, to learn, and to be better than we were yesterday, even if you've had missteps, or you're not where you thought you would be by now. Don't beat yourself up. You're not alone. We are in this together. The small wins matter. Celebrate them. Maybe you chose a salad over fries, or you took a walk when you really didn't want to. Maybe you took a moment to breathe instead of stressing over something out of your control. These small actions compound over time, and they pave the way for bigger victories. And look, if you're feeling stuck, don't hesitate to reach out. Sometimes all it takes to move forward is a little bit of guidance and a lot of heart-to-heart conversation. If you want that push or that extra set of eyes to help you see what you're too close to see yourself, I am here. Schedule that consult call. Let's map out your next steps together. I know it's easier said than done, but don't let your inner critic hold you back. Turn down its volume and listen to that other voice, the one whispering that you can do this, because you absolutely can. That's all I have for you today. Have an amazing week, everyone. Until next time, stay strong, stay committed, and remember, you've got this. Hey there. I am so glad that you spent this time with me today. Are you feeling inspired to take control of your health, but not quite sure where to start? Or maybe you're ready for that next step towards food freedom, body neutrality, and consistent eating habits. Either way, I've got something just for you. If you're a woman in midlife who's done with dieting and ready to embrace a healthier relationship with food, your body, and self, let's connect. Whether you're interested in private coaching with me or my amazing group coaching program, we'll discover what's perfect for your unique journey. So why not book a consult? It's a chance for us to chat one-on-one, explore your needs, and find the path that's meant for you. Just head to elizabethsherman.com/consult and let's get started. I truly believe that transformation is within your reach, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. It's your time to shine, and I can't wait to support you in this amazing journey. Thank you again for listening, and remember, I'm always here for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.